So next we are going to discuss past perfect tense. The key words are there after and after or before. That means there is a comparison. One event is happening after another one, or one event happened before another one. Now see here, when do we use past perfect tense? When do we use past perfect tense? When two past events, read what I have written. When two past events happened one after another. So there are two past events that happened one after another. One happened before, the other happened later. The event that had happened earlier is known as far past. The event that had happened earlier is known as far past. The event that happened later is known as near past. The event that happened later is known as near past. So you have to understand that well, that one event had happened earlier and the other event happened later. One event had happened earlier, the other event happened later. Now the event that had happened earlier is known as far past. The event that happened later is known as near past. So past perfect tense is used in far past. The past perfect tense is used to denote the far past, whereas the incident that is happening in the near past is simply written in the simple present tense. I am telling you again, the event happening in near past is simply written in simple past, whereas the event that had happened earlier, that had happened in the far past, is written in past perfect tense. Should you have any confusion regarding this far past and near past, rewind this video, see this video again and again, and I hope the concept of far past and near past will become clearer to you. Now first learn the syntax, the structure of past perfect tense. After subject we write had, and then the third form of verb, that is past participle. Now from the example, the concept of far past and near past will become clear to you. I had seen him. I had seen him. Subject had, and then the third form of verb. I had seen him. So that is far past, because it had happened earlier, before he saw me. Before he saw me. So he saw me later. That is why it is near past. It is near past. He saw me. It is near past because it happened later. And so I have written it in simple past. Whereas the far past event, I had seen him, that had happened earlier, is written in past perfect tense, and the structure is had plus third form of verb. Here also you see had and third form of verb. Had seen. And now the thing I was telling you earlier, Far past is written in past perfect tense. Far past is written in past perfect tense. Near past is written in simple past tense. You have seen it in the example. I had seen it. This had happened earlier, far past. That's why we have used past perfect tense, had plus verb 3. But the near past, which had happened later, he saw me, it is simply written in past tense. As you know, the past tense of see is saw. Now there are more examples. I had boarded the train before it left the station. So past perfect tense or far past is that I had boarded the train. Of course you will board the train before the train leaves. So it has happened also in case of I. I had boarded the train before it left the station. I had boarded the train earlier. Then only the train left the station. Now both these events are happening in the past. Both these events happened in the past, but one event happened earlier, the other event happened later. So the event that had happened earlier is far past, and here it is I had boarded the train. That's why you see here we have used the past perfect tense, had plus verb 3, and the event that happened later, it left the station, it is written in simple past tense. The past tense of the verb leave is left, and that form of verb has been used here because it is near past and it should be written in simple past tense. I hope it is clear. Now example number 2 is somewhat different because there is no keyword like after or before. So it is not always necessary that words like after or before will be in the sentence to make you understand that one event happened after or before another one. No, after or before will not be given always to tell you that two past events happened one after another. So what am I saying? To tell you one event happened one after another, not always before or after, words like before or after will be given. Sometimes you have to understand yourself that one event happened after another or one event happened before another. You have to understand it yourself by reading the sentence carefully. Look here is also two events. I knew I had made a mistake. Two events, of course, two incidents. First one is I knew, and then there is another I had made a mistake. Now you can be sure that these two events can never happen together. One event must have happened earlier than the other. I knew, it is near past because you have known it later. But what have you done earlier? What have I done earlier? I had made a mistake. I had made a mistake. That is an action that I had done earlier. I knew or I realized it later. Both the events are happening in the past, but the fact that I knew or I realized it only happened later. So it is near past. That's why only simple past. But I had made a mistake that had happened earlier. That had happened earlier. So this part of the sentence is written in past perfect tense because it is far past. It had happened earlier. That's why it is far past. That's why it is written in past perfect. Had plus third form of verb or past participle. I am telling you again, should you have any confusion, rewind the video again and again and again. Replay it. And I hope at some stage your confusions will be gone. Thank you.